The Prime Minister and other Conservative MPs attacked Wales' COVID restrictions in Parliament, labelling them as damaging, ludicrous, and political posturing. Several senior English and Welsh Conservatives at the House of Commons slammed the restrictions put in place by the First Minister Mark Drakeford in Wales. The COVID restrictions in Wales have been in effect since Boxing Day. Wales still has a higher COVID infection rate than England, but the true impact of the diverging restrictions in the two nations over the New Year period will only start to show in the data in the coming days. Both nations are facing huge pressures on public services caused by staff isolating and are seeing COVID cases in hospital rising. For the latest restrictions, statistics and updates surrounding COVID-19 in Wales, click here. Preseli Pembrokeshire MP Stephen Crabb, a former Welsh secretary in the UK government, criticised the rules by saying Wales faces the most burdensome and most intrusive restrictions in any part of the United Kingdom. Welsh Secretary Simon Hart, who represents neighbouring Carmarthen West and South Pembrokeshire, replied, saying, "I might have found myself disagreeing with him if it could be demonstrated that the results of COVID controls in Wales are in some way better than the results in the rest of the UK, but they are not. It is absurd that the popular park run in his own town of Haverfordwest cannot take place, and that people cannot watch rugby from the touchline, but they can cram into a club where they ought not to be. That is nonsense. It is throttling the recovery, and it is throttling economic activity." First Minister Mark Drakeford will give a press conference on Friday to reveal the results of the Welsh Government's latest review of lockdown restrictions. We've looked at his options here. At the moment, nightclubs are closed in Wales, crowds are banned from sports fixtures, and hospitality venues are required to operate the rule of 6, meaning larger gatherings are banned. Going into an office, when it is possible to work from home, is also an offence. Brecon and Radnorshire MP Faye Jones mocked the restrictions during the Prime Minister's questions, saying she will be holding her team meeting in the local pub, as under Welsh Government rules, they are unable to go to her socially distanced office. She said, "We cannot do parkrun, and we cannot watch outdoor sport on the touchline, but we can see WTCH up together in the clubhouse to watch it. May I commend the Prime Minister for his bold decisions, and ask whether he agrees that the inconsistencies in the rules in Wales are not just ludicrous, but are harming the Welsh economy." MPs from England also took aim at the rules in Wales during the Commons sitting on Wednesday. Prime Minister Boris Johnson described the restrictions in Wales as baroque eccentricities. And former Secretary of State for Business Andrea Leadsom described the Welsh Government's decision as bonkers. She said, "Does my right friend agree that the Welsh Government's decision to prevent people from taking part in parkruns, not just Welsh citizens, but those from the English side taking part in Welsh parkruns, has meant that those people have been significantly detrimentally affected by such a bonkers decision?" Simon Hart replied, "When we talk about COVID regulations needing to be clear and concise in order to command public confidence, that people in Wales can go to the pub, but be fined if they go to their office, that they can watch rugby in a crowded club room, but not from the touchline, and that they can have a gym session in their own property, but not go and do a park run, which is known to have enormous health and mental health benefits." Michael Fabricant, the MP for Lichfield, who said he spent Boxing Day and New Year's in Wales, said that he met a number of business people in the evening who said that Mark Drakeford's plans for COVID restrictions were nothing but political posturing and that they were damaging their economy. It comes as Wales continues to see record rates of COVID cases. On Thursday, Wales' coronavirus infection rate soared to above 2,000 cases per 100,000 population, by far the most recorded since the start of the pandemic. As of 4 p.m. on Thursday, the UK government's COVID dashboard showed that the infection rate in Wales was 2,470.3 cases in the last week, for every 100k people compared to 1,709.1 in England. Scotland's infection rate is 1,949, and Northern Ireland's 2,663.5. First Minister Mark Drakeford is facing calls from the hospitality sector that unless things change, there will be a wave of job losses and looming bankruptcies in businesses which have bent over backwards for almost 2 years. He will announce the next review of COVID restrictions tonight or tomorrow amid huge uncertainty about the impact of Omicron in Wales. To get the latest news from Wales Online sent to your email inbox, click here.